Okay. What is up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Natalie Hughes. I am a life mindset and manifestation coach. On my channel, on my platform, and in my business, I support self-led women in creating emotionally fulfilled, purpose-driven lives for themselves. I am so happy that you're here. I'm so excited to get into today's video. We are talking about scripting. What is scripting? How do I do it? Plus, I'm going to give you some tips that are going to help you to script even better. And I'm going to give you some prompts at the end of this video. I had to check my notes to make sure that they were there. I'm going to give you some journal prompts at the end of this video that you're going to use to start scripting immediately. It's going to be very good. Let's jump into this. So, first things first, what is scripting? Scripting is just, okay, so like journaling is an umbrella term. You can do journaling around, some people call it shadow work. You can do journaling around like um, uncovering, right? Identifying your limiting beliefs. You can do journaling to identify your limiting beliefs. You can do journaling to heal. You can do journaling talking to your inner children. You can do a lot of different things that are all going to fall under the category of journaling. You could journal about the day that you had, right? So journaling is an umbrella term. Scripting is like a little subcategory within the umbrella of journaling. And scripting specifically is just the act of journaling and writing as if you've already received what you wanted and desired. There's a lot of fun ways that you can do this. It's like the limit does not exist when it comes to scripting. For one of my offers that I just came out with most recently, the self concept series, it's a bundle. It's 8 digital journals. It's not a bundle because they don't all come together, but I created them at the same time. It's 8 digital journals and they're full of questions. Those journal prompts are basically helping you to script, to talk as if you got the next level income of your desire, to talk as if you're the money making version of yourself that you want to be, to talk and think and feel and speak like the version of you who has your dream home, right? So, scripting is an exercise that I like to use to help me tap into the vibration of my desire, to help me just make it more real. And it's a really great experience for me to get like downloads and epiphanies because when you start scripting, you can be talking like it's like your mind takes you to some place that you didn't think that you were going to go. So, for example, let's say that I am manifesting a trip to Costa Rica. I am manifesting a trip to Costa Rica. Not really something that's like I'm focusing on it right now, but like, yes, I would like to go to Costa Rica. So, let's say I'm manifesting a trip to Costa Rica and I'm manifesting a certain amount of sales goals. So, if I were to script, then I would be writing this down and I would say something like, I woke up in the morning and I got up from the bed. I walked across the cool floor onto the patio and I looked out past the trees, past the fog, through the clouds. I saw the most beautiful, breathtaking volcano in life. I just cannot believe that I am here in Costa Rica. It smells like freshness. It literally just smells like fresh air and nature. I can hear exotic birds chirping and singing in the trees. I can see a couple of them flying in the distance. I see something that I think looks like a monkey. I just cannot believe that I am here. I take a seat on the patio and I put my feet inside of the little outdoor pool that's outside in the patio of my hotel room, and I just put one hand on my heart and one hand on my lower belly, and I just have to take a deep breath. I have to take a moment to take it all in. I cannot believe I'm here in Costa Rica. I am at the hotel of my dreams, the hotel that has been on my vision board for years. I made it. I am on the other side, and I just had my very first $50,000 month. I am experiencing a level of success that I thought that I might not ever receive. I have created a successful business for myself. I am living my dream. I took myself on this trip. I paid for by myself with the money and the profits that I just received in my business. I just had my highest month ever. I made $50,000 in my business last month. I cannot believe this. I am on the other side. I am really doing it. Manifestation works. Manifestation is real. I feel tears welling up in my eyes as I close my eyes and I tilt my head backwards and I just give thanks and glory to God. I know that I worked with God to make all of this happen. I know that I worked with God to call all of this into my life, and I am so grateful that God teamed up with me. I'm so grateful that God worked with me. I'm so grateful that I didn't give up. As I'm sitting and tears are streaming down my face, I hear a knock at my hotel room door. I get out I take my feet out of the pool and I stand up, walking across the wood floors to the front door. And I remember that I ordered breakfast, room service, right, and it came right at the perfect time. I open my door and I am greeted by one of the incredibly nice staff as they bring in my room service, and I start eating fruit before I go on my Costa Rican adventures for the day. That's so good. I literally feel my face starting to get tingly. If I were to keep going with that story, which I could, and I could take that in a million different directions, I would have full body chills. That's scripting. I wasn't writing it down, so you could call what I just did riffing. You could call what I just did going on a rampage. It's all the same thing. You're talking as if you got what you wanted. And if you notice, I was doing all this, like, pretending that I'm writing. When you're scripting, so there's a million different ways that you can do this, right? Tapping into the vibration of your desire. Like I said, you can do it through scripting, which we're talking about today. But when you're saying it out loud, you're riffing. When you're saying it out loud, you're going on a rampage. And all of these are just tools and techniques to shift your energy and to help you explore the vibration of your desire. What I really like about scripting is that because you're writing everything down, you're kind of slowed down a little bit. Scripting is something that I find to be a little bit more of a process that can really take you into it because you've got to slow down. Sometimes in your mind, you finish one sentence and you're already on to the third, right? If you're like me, you finish one sentence and you're already on to the next topic. You know what I'm saying? But when you're actually stopping and you're writing out this story, you can only write one word at a time. So there are times when I'm like scripting and I'm super excited for what's happening next, but I'm on this sentence. So I'm like, oh my God, but it's good because it helps you to get in it. And that's what you want to do when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to energy. And excuse me if you hear my MacBook, the fan turning on like she's gonna blow up. She's doing what she needs to do, and we respect her. So, okay, you focus on it. You can only write one word at a time. I love it because it's super great for just getting in it. And that's what manifestation is about. Manifestation is about getting into the vibration of your desire. You want to make it real. You want to get in it. You want to get in it. That's my number one tip. My number one scripting tip is that you want to get in it. You want to get in it. Not, I woke up, I made so much money. Yay, I'm rich. If that shifts your energy, fine. Live your best life. But does that shift your energy as much as I woke up and was instantly comforted again by the weight of my brand new Egyptian cotton duvet? I love these brand new sheets. And just as I'm falling back in love with the new sheets, I come into awareness of the comforts of my brand new bed that my body is just so perfectly being cradled by. This brand new bed and these pillows. Oh my God, these are the most amazing, wonderful goose feather pillows that I have ever slept on in my life. I'm not in a hotel. I cannot believe that I am not in a hotel. I am in my own bed. I get to sleep in this bed every single night. It is my first day waking up in my brand new apartment. I have a brand new bed, brand new comforter, and brand new sheets to match. And I have no idea how I'm going to get up and out of this thing to start my day. There's a huge difference. Number one, the example that I just gave you takes more time. And in manifestation, you're playing a game with time. You don't want to just rush through it and see yourself receiving so that you can be done with it. You can check another thing off your box or off your list. Check another box off your. You understand what the hell I'm talking about, right? You don't just want to check another something off of your list. You want to get in it. You want to get in it. You're the author of your life. You're literally the author of your life. That's what you're doing with scripting. You're writing. You're creating a scene. You can do it like you're writing a book. When you're writing a book, there are so many different things that go into that. Where are you when you're doing your scripting? Where are you? What's the environment? I said in one example, in the previous example, not the one I just gave, but the one before that, I woke up. I made so much money. Yay, I'm rich. But in the example that I gave after that, I woke up and I'm feeling this heavy weight of these incredibly soft sheets. And it's not just the amazing sheets. I'm also in an incredibly comfortable bed. The most perfect bed for me. My body feels cradled. I feel snug. And what's this? An amazing, wonderful pillow underneath me as well. I am surrounded by comfort. And it's like I'm waking up and I'm realizing that I'm surrounded by comfort. And where am I? I'm in my brand new apartment. So I've created a scene that I think the right word would be like that infers my success. If your goal is to have the new home and you want to get the new home as a consequence of that raise or promotion or landing that bigger client or getting consistent sales in your business, you don't have to say, I woke up, I made so much money. You could say, I woke up in my brand new home. And the evidence of all the money that you've made is all around you because you've got the amazing duvet. You have the amazing comforter. You have the amazing weighted blankets on top of you. You have the incredibly soft sheets. You have the incredibly amazing fluffy pillows. You have the amazing bed that you're sleeping on. You can continue the scene. I can't believe that I have to get out of this amazing bed. I roll over to the side and I grab my phone from my night table. I can't think of what the name of that is. I grab the phone from my bedside table. And as I turn my phone on, mentally preparing myself to get out of bed and start my day, I see the notifications on my phone. I received sale after sale after sale. I unlock my phone, I pull down on my screen to see a list of all my notifications, and I scroll through the notifications of payments that have come through, thousands of dollars that I have made overnight while I slept. A part of me still can't believe that this is my life, and another part of me has completely normalized this. I have been receiving consistent sales and sales while I sleep, sales 24/7 for the past 6 months. I am still adjusting to life as this incredibly successful business owner, this incredibly successful saleswoman, this incredibly wealthy, abundant woman. My life has done a full 180. My life has changed drastically. And as I'm scrolling through my phone, I notice a feeling happening, a feeling, a sensation. I sense movement happening at the bottom of my bed, at the foot of my bed. I look up from my phone and I see my beautiful Labradoodle puppy stirring, waking up out of her sleep. I am seriously living my dream. Boom. That's a scene. That's an experience. That's something that's engaging your senses. And what I feel to say here is there's not a standard that you have to meet with this either. It's not like you have to engage the senses and meet a certain standard in order to do this in a right way. It's just about a skill that you're developing. So it might be uncomfortable at first. I started actively scripting a year ago. I hated it. I hated scripting when I was first introduced to it because it challenged me. I did not like that feeling of being challenged in my mindset, being challenged intellectually, because I've never had that experience before. I'm somebody who understands things quickly and easily. I'm somebody who you explain things to, and I get it, and I understand it, and I can take it, and I can run with it, and I can run circles around everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am super duper smart, and that's kind of like my thing. So when it comes to developing new tools like this, developing new skills like this, seeing myself succeed, challenging myself to get into a different scene, challenging myself to think differently, challenging myself to think like the version of me that I'm choosing to become, when you first start doing that, it's not like everything flows and everything is so easy. It might. And if it does for you, that's lovely. But for most people, it won't be. It'll be challenging. So the point is, you don't have to beat yourself up and get frustrated and make it a negative thing if you go down and if you sit down to script and it doesn't flow out of you like crazy. It's a skill that you develop over time, and it's a skill that I would highly recommend that you develop, because once you develop that skill of being able to place yourself in different scenarios, of really being able to get in there, get into that vibration, then really you're mastering the skill of shifting your state. So as you're telling this new story and you're speaking as if, when you're engaging your senses, it's like you're taking yourself out of your physical reality. You're taking yourself someplace else. It's like when you're reading a book. When you're reading a book and you're really, really getting into it, you're immersed in that world. Okay? You are immersed in that world. You're not thinking, I'm in my physical reality reading this book and I notice the room that I'm in right now. No, you are in whatever location that that book is in. You understanding what I'm saying? You're in it. You're immersed in it. So your goal and your desire with scripting as an exercise and a technique is to get in it, to get in it. Inside of the digital journals that I have for sale, the self-concept digital journals, As a part of the introduction, I tell you that you can do an exercise where you challenge yourself to answer a series of questions and put 2 minutes on a timer. You answer the question in 2 minutes and then you move on to the next question. That's great. But you also can have an experience where you're challenging yourself to write for an entire page, write a couple of pages, get in it, experience depth with it. Your manifestation journey is not a journey of going, I did it, I journaled, I scripted, I did everything that you told me to do. Now give me the thing that I desire. That's not what manifestation is. That's not what scripting is. That's not what empowerment is. Your goal when you're manifesting, your goal with this mindset and this energetic work is to take yourself there, is to feel like you're there, is to spend as much time as possible feeling like you're there. So if you were making more money, making more consistent sales. Let's say you got a different promotion. Let's say you got a promotion at your job, you're making more money, you landed a client that you really wanted to land, right? So let's say that you just had that experience and now you are at your desk at work, you just had the, greatest promotion of your life. I'm sitting in my desk at work and I can't help but sit up straighter than I have ever sat before. A smile spreads across my face as I realize once again, maybe for the 100th time that day, that I got the promotion. I was chosen for this promotion. I am now the VP, CEO, partner, whatever of my company. I checked my accounts and I received the sign-on bonus last night that was so fast. Receiving that money, manifesting that money was so easy. I feel so confident in myself. I feel so confident in my work. I feel more sure of myself than I have ever felt before. And my muscles feel more relaxed. I feel more safe. I feel more financially secure than I ever have before. With this amount of money that I'm making, with the amount of money that I'm investing, with the amount of money that I'm putting towards my desires, I'll be able to put in, I don't know what the fuck that's called when you're going to buy a house, okay? I'll be able to put in the whatever the fuck to buy the house of my dreams in no time. Everything is coming together. Boom. I engaged the senses a little bit, but I didn't talk about the smell of the office. So there's not really a standard that you have to meet there. You're just getting in the story. And you're just really thinking about, what would that be like? What would you do? What would that feel like? What would that experience be if you're planning on traveling someplace and you're planning on having an experience there? What would that be like? If you traveled to Italy and you were on the beautiful little boats or on the gondolas, what does that experience feel like? Can you write a scene about the boat rocking back and forth as you're walking down the, is it called a boardwalk? I don't know what the fuck that's called. Sometimes I don't know words. Sometimes I don't know words, okay? I hate to admit it. I don't know everything. I know. It's shocking. I know. Shocks me too when it happens, honestly. But can you see yourself walking down that walkway, walking down that pathway, and the boat is going back and forth, and the wonderful man is holding your hand as he's helping you go down into the boat where you take your seat and it's so comfortable and it's kind of a little bit lower into the water than you anticipated that it would be, and the water feels so good, and maybe there's a breeze and you can feel the sun on your skin, but it's not too hot. The weather is absolutely perfect, and the boat is just the most gorgeous shades of brown that you've ever seen in your life. And can you hear the engine as it's being started, or as the boat is moving, and you're moving along the water and you're feeling the water or the mist or the spray or the whatever as you're coasting on the Italian Sea, right? You're having this experience, you're looking around, everything is so vibrant and green and luscious, and the water is just absolutely beautiful, and you're taking great, wonderful pictures, and you're reflecting about what's true for you. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So you're just getting in it. You're getting in it. It's not, I went to Italy. Italy is so beautiful. I love Italy. What's happening in Italy? I just made it to the top of my 50th flight of stairs. I am so happy that I went on all of those walks for all of the past several years, because I knew that I was going to need the stamina to handle the stairs of motherfucking Europe. And it absolutely paid off. I am so proud of myself. In this hot Italian sun, I have mastered the ability to walk up crazy ass hills and walk up humongous flights of stairs. I am so proud of myself, and as I make it to the top of the stairs, I reward myself with delicious, refreshing gelato. And the gelato that I get is the most delicious lemon tasting, and it's just beautifully wonderful and tart and sweet and refreshing. And this gelato place is right next to my Airbnb or my hotel, and I love Italy so much. Boom. Take yourself in it. Get expressive with it. Who are you? Where are you? What's happened? What's led up to it? And what do you now know is true for you? What's true about you? What's true about what you get to create? What's true about your spiritual beliefs? The law of assumption is real. The law of attraction is real. God is real. God, you really had my freaking back. I just bought my dream car. I'm sitting in the lobby of the Mercedes dealership. The car is out getting a wash. I can hardly contain my excitement. I feel like jumping up and down. God, you are so fucking real. I am so happy right now. You literally made this happen by a miracle. They have the perfect car. I got the greatest deal. I am so happy to have my new car. Everything came together so perfectly. The sales came into my business. The money poured into my business. The money poured into my life. I was receiving gifts. I was receiving money left and right. And I watched as my savings accounts grew and expanded so that I would have the money to buy my dream car cash, to put down money on my dream car, blah, 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 blah. I got my dream car. I got my dream car. God, you are so real. Thank you, Jesus. In that moment, I'm not just talking about I got my dream car. I'm also talking about my beliefs. I'm also affirming my spiritual beliefs. God, you are so real. Thank you for showing up for me. Manifesting money is so real. I teamed up with God, and the money is coming from everywhere. The money is coming in gifts. The money is coming in sales. The money poured into my account. So you didn't just get the car. You're at the car dealership. The car is being washed. You've already made the deal. And now you're talking about how you got there. So that's another thing that you might want to answer in your prompts. How did you get there? What is that experience like? If you've ever been inside a Mercedes, like a brand new Mercedes, they have a different smell. I don't know if this is common knowledge, maybe not, because I didn't know this. Like, I really love the new car smell, but new Mercedes don't have the new car smell. They have that very specific leathery smell, and it's such a specific smell that when you've put your hands on the steering wheel after the fact, you can still smell the leather on your hands. So, with this information, you can say, I'm sitting in the Mercedes dealership and I cannot stop smelling my hands. The smell of the leather from my brand new Mercedes GLC 300 car, the steering wheel leathery smell is still on my hands, and I might look like an absolute lunatic, but I don't give a fuck because I'm a wealthy lunatic. I'm a wealthy lunatic who can afford to easily purchase her dream car. Manifestation is so real. I am so happy that I get to be a wealthy lunatic. I am a wealthy lunatic who drives her dream car. Thank you, God, for all of this money. Thank you, God. I'm so grateful that I get to make the money that I want, that I get to be who I genuinely and authentically am, and I get to be free. I get to express myself. I get to live my life. I'm no longer afraid of judgment as I sit in this Mercedes lounge and I sniff my hands. I will never get tired of this leathery smell. I love my new car. I love manifestation. I love making money. I love you, Jesus. Literally, my face is starting to tingle. Are you following me? Your job is to get in it. Take yourself there. Create a scene. What would be happening if you had already received your desires? What would be happening if you were already on the other side? And you can also script about, getting it and being there. Instead of talking about you just bought the Mercedes, you could talk about, oh my God, my savings are bigger than they've ever gotten. I'll be able to buy my car soon, right? You can do whatever you want, but I would recommend being there, being on the other side, because why not? Okay, so there's that. Next tip is go slow. Don't rush. I literally have go slow, don't rush. You'll get faster over time. For me, scripting was a lot more difficult than it needed to be in the beginning because I was trying to force myself. I was going, okay, I got to get this whole entire story out. I got to be able to write a whole entire story quickly and easily. No. Go slow. It doesn't matter if it takes you a longer period of time. If you're doing that exercise where you're giving yourself 2 minutes to just challenge yourself to get stuff out there and to just, let stuff flow freely from your mind, that's fine. It doesn't matter if you only write one sentence in the 2 minutes. It doesn't matter if you only write 2 sentences in the 2 minutes. Don't rush yourself. Your job is to also be exploring that in your mind. What might that be like? What might be happening? What might be going on? So there's no rush there. You do not have to rush. Even if you're writing out a full entire page, don't force yourself to rush. Play around with the idea of it a little bit. Challenge yourself. The next tip that I have here says, you do know. You do know. You're infinitely intelligent. You have an inner being, a higher self that has access to infinite intelligence. You do know. You're not in manifestation. You're not creating something from nothing. You're not somebody who's poor, who has to imagine, work really hard to create a world where they're rich. You're not somebody who's underappreciated at their job, who has to work really hard to imagine that they're being appreciated and respected. You're not somebody who's single, who has bad luck in love, who has to work really hard and create an entire world where you're being loved and pampered and supported by men. That's not what's happening. You're, number one, infinitely intelligent. Number two, if we're going law of attraction route, you have a vortex. Your vortex is basically this field of energy that contains everything that you've ever wanted, everything you've ever been inspired to want. It's in your vortex. So you have that. And also, there's infinite realities that are happening all the time, right here and right now. So it's not that the version of you who drives the dream car, who has the dream job, who's making money every single day, it's not that that version of you is happening in the future. It's happening right now. You're not going from point A to point B. You're going from one state to the next state. It's like this, not like this. Are you following me? You're not going from having money to having more money. You're not going from being broke to having more money. You're going from this vibrational state of money to this vibrational state of money to this vibrational state of money. You're moving up. You're shifting states. You're shifting into a timeline that is already happening. It's already in progress. There's already a version of you who is loved and pampered and taken care of and supported by money. There's already a version of you who is in the dream relationship with the man of her, his, their dreams. There's already a version of you who is living exactly the way that you want to be living. It's already happening. So your process of scripting, manifesting, whatevering, it doesn't have to be a process of going, I'm trying to make something happen. It's more so a process of, I want to know what that's like. I want to know what's going on there. And how does that version of myself think? And how does that version of myself speak? And what would happen? What is happening? That version of me who's in Costa Rica, what is she doing? What experience is she having? What is she eating there? What is it like to be there? What is it like to be in Italy? What is it like to have delicious gelato in Italy? You're asking yourself that question. What is that like? And in your imagination, you're taking yourself not to a place that isn't real, not to a place of something that has not happened that you hope will happen, but to a place where it is happening, to a timeline where it is happening. And as you spend your time in your imagination, in your mind, or your internal world, in that timeline, in that vibration, in that experience, you start to shift into that timeline, into that state, into that experience. And that is how you collapse time, jump timelines, quantum leap. You take yourself there in your internal world. You take yourself there in your imagination. You take yourself there through techniques like scripting. And you have tools like processes to identify and release your limiting beliefs so that it's easier for you to tap into those timelines and to stay there. When you have the belief that you can't make money, you're not good enough, people don't want what you have to offer, men don't like you, men will abandon you, it's difficult for you to see yourself in that loving relationship and to stay in that vibration. You imagine the guy loving you, and then you think that's not possible. And then you think that will never happen. And then you think, oh, but there's a million different reasons why that can't happen. I can't receive that. That would never happen for me. Blah, 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 blah. All of those are limiting beliefs. So you take courses and programs like the Receiver's Mindset so that you can learn how to deal with those fears, how to deal with those doubts, how to deal with those worries. And so you can become someone who, instead of spending their time worrying about their fears and focusing on their doubts, you can be someone who identifies the fears, the worries, and the doubts and shifts them and then argues for their receiving, argues for their desires, argues to stay in the timeline of their choosing. So you become someone who spends more time in alignment with your desires, and it manifests in your physical reality because it must, right? So there's my 2 cents on that. Let me make sure. Yes, okay. Those are all of my notes. Now for the questions. These are the scripting questions that I would highly suggest that you try out for yourself. Are you ready? So, number 1, you're going to script. Now, 2 options. If you would like options, you can do however you want to do it. You could My two options for you would be to start a timer for 2 minutes and challenge yourself to write whatever comes to your mind for those 2 minutes, or to challenge yourself to write out an entire page to these questions. But you can also write until it feels content, write until your face feels tingly, write until you feel the energy shifting. It just depends on what your preference is. So, number one, you're going to free write, and you're going to start with the phrase. You're going to free write as if you're on the other side. You got what you wanted. And you're going to start with the phrase, "It's just like I scripted it." So imagine that you got what you wanted. You got what you wanted as a direct result of your manifestation power, of your intention. It's just like I scripted it. Dot, dot, dot. What is it? And it's just like you scripted it. It's just like I scripted it. I just got to the hotel in Costa Rica, and the very first thing that happened was somebody walked up to me and handed me a daiquiri. I laughed out loud because what they don't know is that before I got here, before I booked my plane ticket, before I booked the hotel, before I had the money in my bank account, I was scripting that I was going to get to Costa Rica and be served a daiquiri the second that I got to my hotel. I'm laughing out loud, thinking about it. It's just like I scripted it. Okay? Next, journal prompt. The version of you who received your desire, what are they convinced of? This is my favorite question. This question is something that I use really consistently to shift my energy. The version of you who got it, what are they convinced of? The version of me who's in Costa Rica is convinced that she can easily afford to stay in Costa Rica. The version of me who stayed in Costa Rica is convinced that she's worthy of amazing volcanic views. The version of me who stayed in the amazing hotel, who's staying in the amazing hotel in Costa Rica, is convinced that she's worthy of the best of the best. She's convinced that she's worthy of facials. She's convinced that she is worthy of massages. She's convinced that she is worthy of luxurious, amazing hotel stays. She is convinced that she is worthy of a vacation. She is convinced that she makes enough money to take an amazing vacation. She is convinced that it is safe to travel internationally. She is convinced that she is worthy of goodness in her life. And you can just keep going for an entire page. You can keep going for 2 minutes. And the beautiful thing about it is that when you're doing this, like I said earlier, sometimes you'll come across answers that you didn't even know. There's a lot of ways that I choose to operate in my business and in my life that have come from me actually sitting and scripting and being like, "Oh, bitch, that's a really good idea. Yeah, yeah, and I am gonna practice that, and I do believe that. Yeah, and I agree. That resonates with me." Okay, last one that we have for you is you're gonna script like you're on the other side, and you're gonna start with the phrase, "Of course, I get what I want. Of course, I get what I want. Dot, dot, dot." Okay? Of course, I get what I want. I'm the creator of my reality. Of course, I get what I want. God is on my side. I am at the beach at Costa Rica, and I cannot help but think, of course, this is my experience. Of course, this is my life. I am having the time of my life underneath this umbrella, underneath the beautiful sun, with an amazing book and a lovely drink in my hand. Of course, this is my life. Of course, I get to have what I want. The law of assumption is real. My vibration is powerfully aligned with amazing vacations and financial abundance. Of course, I get to have what I want. I am a child of God. Of course, I get to have what I want. I am the creator of my reality. Of course, I get to have what I want. I was born to live this life. I was born to receive wealth. I was born to experience wealth. I was born to create wealth. I was born to create a successful business. Of course, I get to have what I want. Of course, I get to have an amazing, wonderful bathing suit. Of course, I get to have my dream, amazing body. I was made to receive everything that I want and desire, and this is only the beginning. Okay? Do it in your own way. Again, there's no standard. There's nothing you have to say. That's just how I might answer it at that time, right? And the beautiful thing about this is that if you're smart, you'll answer these prompts multiple times over and over and over again. I'm giving you free game. Take it. Okay? I love you so much. If you're watching this, you're like, I want more. I want the nitty gritty. I want the nuances. I want to master this. I want to master receiving. I want to receive on demand. I want to master energy. I want to master shifting states. I want to master the ability to argue for my receiving so that I can get into the vibration of my desire. I can stay there and I can receive what I want in my life. Then you would definitely love to enroll inside of my program. It is called the Receiver's Mindset course. You can learn more about the receiver's mindset and enroll using the link in the description. I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me in today's video. Be sure to comment. Did you have any epiphanies? Did you laugh out loud? Did you answer the scripting journal prompts? Do you want to share that? If you shared that in the comments, I would love to read that and just respond back to you and give you some feedback. So go ahead and do that if you feel to. And that's all that I have to say, other than thanking you for liking and sharing the video with somebody who needs to hear it and subscribing to my channel. Yeah, that's all I got. Okay, I love you. Goodbye. Mwah.